Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're having a great long weekend here. Fine music is with you. In fact, more than ever. We have a new member today, so we're really happy about that. And this is episode, can you believe it? 236. The numbers just keep, there's no control. They just go up. That's all they do. But there's one thing we can control, and that is the pleasure of having our leadoff man be Fred Whitlock. So here we go with Fred.
Today I'm going to talk about the singer-songwriter Bob Lind. 1966, he had a top 5 hit, Elusive Butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
And it was recorded by numerous artists. In fact, some of his songs have been listed. Over 200 artists have recorded his songs. Wow. There's a collection of Jack Nietzsche's produced sessions with him that were recorded for World Pacific Records in the 60s. And it's an incredible collection, 25 songs. Mr. Zero is on it, which was recorded by the Yardbirds. And Counting, early Marianne Faithfull recorded that song. Cheryl's Going Home, among other artists. The Blues Project in the 60s recorded it on an album. But the problem was he started getting into drugs and alcohol. He didn't like being in the studio. He was hard to get along with, supposedly, according to his own words in interviews. And
who
then
do you think he was? Phil
Bob
Spector?
Weston stuck up for him. Bob Weston of the Troubadour stuck up for him and got him a contract with Capitol Records and recorded an album, Since There Were Circles, in 1971. Now, he put up the money for this, but Capitol did not promote the album very well, even though it got some critical acclaim. And when I listen to it, it holds up with anything that was released in the early 70s in the singer-songwriter realm. It's a great album. It's got Doug Dillard and Bernie Leadon on it, and a number of other famous backup artists. But in his own words, he was terrible to get along with in the recording studio, and I guess the record company just gave up on him. So he disappeared in Florida, and he writes some novels and he writes some plays and gets a little acclaim for them. But in 2016, he records a new album. Actually, it was 2012, Finding You Again. And it's a great album. He didn't lose any of his ability to write great songs. It's poetic and a series of retro pop, folk rock. It's got poetic lyrics. It's solid. The imagery just flies off the songs like they did in the 60s. He's produced by Jamie Hoover of a pop rock group called the Sponge Tones. And it's got some great songs. Gravity of the World, Let It Go. Have You Ever Loved Me? Some great tunes on it. Then in 2016, Magellan Was Wrong came out. A strong follow-up. Again, produced by Jamie Hoover. And it starts off with, I Don't Know How to Love You. A real passionate, heart-opening song that just opens the album up. And he's got some other great songs like My Friend, which is a kind of a cry for forgiveness. And he does a Tom Paxton cover, Bottles of Wine, that could have been almost a personal song for him. covering his years in booze, the years he was covered in booze. And he continues to be a troubadour, a true poet, and the songs are well constructed. He doesn't lose his passion at all. In 2022 comes out with Something Worse Than Loneliness. It's an upbeat mood in the album. Roll the Window Down, songs like Wrong Again. His vocals remain energetic, and he's committed to writing great lyrics. He's turning 80 this year. And some of the songs are jazzy, some of them are pop rock, some of them are folk rock. He even does a cover of Danny O'Keefe's You Look Just Like a Girl Again. And he uses musicians, Hoover uses musicians to just cloak his songs so well and frame the lyrics. And he's got a great song called Back to Me in Memphis. And this is covers a historical view of Memphis and shows off his talents for songwriting incredibly well. I highly recommend looking at the Bob Lind if you like singer-songwriters.
Is it L-I-N-D or L-Y-N-D?
L-I-N-D.
Okay, thanks.
I got that because he showed the covers.
I couldn't see it from here.
By any chance, Fred, would you compare him to anyone else in terms of style?
I guess, he's kind of Dylanistic, but he isn't a Bob Dylan imagery type guy. Lucid Butterfly, I guess, is sort of like John Hartford's Gentle on My Mind, the way those poetic words just spin out one image after another.
I remember that song, and it made me wonder if he ever left a cake out in the rain.
That's Jimmy Webb.
Yeah. Wow, great. Another great discovery.
So if
Thank
you like
Fred.
John Hartford and Jimmy Webb, you'll like Bob Lind.
Oh, okay, I'll throw in Jimmy Webb too.
Oh.
That'll get some names. All right. Yeah, again, thank you, Fred. You're always coming up with some great finds. And that is episode 236.